Hi, I'm Saren.
And I'm Ray.
We're your Spider Baby hosts from To Know Her Is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast, as well as proud members of the collective.
You're listening to Capes and Lunatics. Gimme, gimme.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Hello and welcome back to another week of the Capes and Lunatics podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, rocking out in New Jersey, it is
Charlie the Professor Esser!
School of Rock!
And she was come out of witness protection in Florida. It is.
No. I was protecting myself from the rest of Florida. It's a little hellfire, y'all.
Well, yeah. Witness protection.
I didn't see nothing. I don't know nothing.
Hey, forget about it. Talking good, you know. Oh my.
Save that for the Patreon, Charlie. Make them pay for it.
Hey, I had to go out. I didn't go out. I didn't have time. I think I might have a new Charlie Esser drop, but I have to cut it up out of today's full stream ahead episode. When Charlie tells maybe two drops. Something about white woman's tears and Charlie Esser telling Moz, I am uncancelable.
I am uncancelable. That is true.
So
I'm not popular enough to be canceled.
Stay tuned for that, kids.
The best way to be under the radar.
Yep.
Why drift over to my box? All right. All right, so last minute decision. So we all found out we all saw Ghostbusters Afterlife. So let's discuss that before we get to our comics. So
okay, can we just say that
nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and not necessarily a good drug.
What I want to say is that, all this could have been avoided if, spoilers. Can we do spoilers on this?
Absolutely.
I would assume it's been out a couple weeks, hasn't it?
Okay, yeah. So, Paul Rudd basically almost destroyed the universe. That's basically what happened. That there's the missing piece, it's locked away, and it gets out because Paul Rudd has to be a dangerous, cool scientist. Who does he think he is? Hank Pym? And he
saves the universe and almost destroys the universe. Come on.
Yeah, well, it's...
He was hip, sexy version of Rick Moranis. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although Rick Moranis can get it. Just for future reference.
Whoa, nice.
Hey, you gotta respect Rick Moranis. The man is an icon.
Oh, yeah, he had a great...
He's a legend, yes. Problematic legend as far as I know, too.
He had an epic...
Especially comparatively to the original... actors,
He had an epic career, and then he's like, I'm out. I'm going to go take care of my family,
Yep, yeah, he does. He does stuff when he can, because his kids are older now, and he just goes and does what he likes to. He doesn't have to be the center of attention. He has his money. He had a nice place to raise his kids. I'm sure it was not nice. He had a tragedy and all that, but that's the impetus for that. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Not everything is about just dancing for you like a monkey. So, it's like... Yeah,
Sigourney Weaver. I mean, Sigourney Weaver even showed up in the other Ghostbusters reboot. Is she hard up for money? Because I'll write her a check.
No, Sigourney Weaver, she likes to do it. The thing is, she just didn't have anything better to do. That's the thing.
That's the tragedy. She didn't have anything better to do.
Well, I'm not going to say it's a tragedy. Some women like to work and not have kids, Lilith. Not everyone has to be a homebody.
I'm not judging her by by that. I'm just saying she showed up in the other one. She showed up in this one. I'm like, where's my other Aliens movie?
Wait, where did Sigourney Weaver show up in this one?
Oh, you didn't stay for the end credits.
The end credits scene?
No.
Oh,
Phil.
Phil,
we are so disappointed in you.
MCU world? Really?
My bladder was going to explode.
It was awesome, actually.
My bladder was going to explode.
Phil, that's why you take the lid off the cup.
Lucky boys.
I just had
That's why they make the theater dark.
I had a water bottle, man. I wasn't trusting my aim in the dark.
Oh, well, you got to get the wide mouth, Phil. That's...
Go on.
Just say, you got to plan ahead. You got to plan ahead in these situations.
Suck.
Yes. Anywhoosies. And the machine will actually give you water, too. So if you want the water, they'll give you the sparkling Dasani out of the machine, too. And then you've got a cup. So you solve your own problems. Anyway, but no, yes, so Sigourney Weaver is at the end of this, but she just has a little thing. It's mostly
just a little thing.
So she can have a little tete-a-tete with Bill Murray, who...
if the next movie's all about Ernie Hudson, I am so here for it.
Oh, yeah.
That was I'm kind of excited. I know it's just nostalgia driven and all that. It was cute and nostalgia driven, but I'm actually want the next movie. We were screwed out of Ghostbusters 3 in lieu of the video game, and I will never forgive Dan for that. He know what he did.
I think.
Well, what I will say is this does look like they might set up Ghostbusters International, which is one of the ideas that they were kicking around at the end of the first movie.
Oh yeah, you can tell this is set up for many, many movies to come. Because I think they accomplished their mission.
Well, Paul Rudd's immortal. B, those kids are pretty.
Oh yeah, I think that actress is 15 or something. Oh yeah, if they can sign her,
they got themselves a Tom Holland.
I am
even younger.
I am going to say my big hope is that if they do a sequel, they are going to make the Extreme Ghostbusters canon.
Yes.
Because that was canonical to the real Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Which was canonical to the films. Although, officially in the real Ghostbusters, the films were actually sold... They actually sold the rights to the film because Venkman's shady uncle actually sold it to a Hollywood company. They got some... It's a great, honestly,
commentary, to be honest.
It's brilliant. Honestly, the real Ghostbusters has such wonderful lore and mythos, which I actually think is referenced in this because I believe that
reference everything. And I'm just gonna go. I kind of am upset with Jason for not giving us enough Slimer. He didn't want to do the Slimer thing, so it's come on, man.
Because.
No.
Well, we got the other guy.
Muncher?
Yeah.
Was it Muncher?
Yes.
Yeah. I understand the reason he didn't want to go Slimer because first off, Slimer was Baby Yoda before Baby Yoda.
Exactly. You had to sell this merch. We got to get this next movie funded, baby.
No, but he wanted to say, you know what? I don't want to. First off, I don't want to Baby Groot it. He doesn't want to just say, "Here's that cute guy you remember," because let's remember. This isn't about the cute things you remember. It's about
tell that to the script.
Happen.
But the one person, the one thing you have that isn't going to age from movie to movie is Slimer.
There was the giant marshmallow man. There were tiny little marshmallows.
Exactly. Give us the other cute thing. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I like I said, and
Baby Groot moment.
Slimer is a New York ghost.
I get it.
Why is he going to be all the way out here? It doesn't make sense.
Oh, he's urban. Oh.
But all the other stuff didn't make sense in this movie. But it's fine. It's fine. There's always time for Slimer. It's fine.
Hey-oh.
And to be fair, I liked Muncher because he's clearly a Rust Belt ghost because he's also the first ghost with an actual physical manifestation that can cause real damage.
Yeah. Shrapnel.
I was waiting for someone to make a point that, there were all the books stacked in Egon's house, and I was like, yes, no human would stack a book like this.
I think that was...
It's a very...
I can't believe they didn't get the firehouse back. I am so disappointed in New York.
Well, they did. They did it. Did you miss all the... No,
I didn't. I'm just saying, the reason why it's at the end is because it took that long. It was a big thing, actually.
Oh, yeah, well, exactly. Well, yeah, because, you had to have Ernie with his millions of dollars now. to go and buy it back from, but
it wasn't. I heard that was like CGI, not the actual place, because they're not allowed to use it or something like that. It's some weird thing like that. So
it could also just be another firehouse. Maybe this one's in Queens. Maybe they bought up an old firehouse in Newark.
Well, it is the hive of scum and villainy, Philip.
Oh,
yes,
sorry. Yes,
no, it's
New Jersey.
You forgot already?
No, I know. New Jersey, the hive of scum and villainy.
No offense, Charlie. Present company included.
Hey, I love New Jersey, and honestly, we pride ourselves on what falls off the back of a truck. It's,
Nothing wrong with
there's
that.
certain costs to doing businesses. It's just a question: do we have a job to go to in the morning? Then we don't ask what the job is. Okay, we don't ask too many questions. We do the job. We go home.
And hey, after this,
not paying us to ask questions. They're paying us to do a job.
And hey, after this movie, if anybody wants to give me the nickname podcast, that's fine.
Give you the nickname podcast.
Yeah,
okay,
that kid. Yeah,
Phil's like, I claim it. Philly podcast. Yeah. You got it, buddy.
Phil podcast me in Perich.
It's alliteration.
Yeah, well, that was interesting. Although I did like the fact that Ray is his listener.
You're my subscriber.
That's the too cute moment.
I felt called out. You're my subscriber.
That poor boy got hit in the head at some point early on in this film, and this has all been a dream, hasn't it?
He really found his voice around episode 46.
Seriously. That's what you call a callback in the professional comedy game, Philip.
I know.
And shout out to actually getting a switch on the freaking equipment now. Like an actual working switch. I can't wait for the actual things to come out now for the authentic cosplay.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes. Yeah.
Lord,
I mean, it's a fun... I like that both kids are geniuses, but in a different way. Where one is clearly the mechanical genius, and the other is the esoteric genius, I suppose, Although even in that, they both look like they're struggling. I find it weird that the mom does not seem to be a genius. And also, it opens up this big question of who is the father of these children?
I know. That seems like...
We know.
It's like, there's a lot. I don't. I mean... What, are you going to say Trick Moranis? That's because he can get it, and he was a lawyer, or was he a CPA? I forget. Was he a CPA?
He was a CPA.
No,
yeah,
he was a CPA, but he did pass the bar, so he could defend the guys in court.
If you don't know, accounting is where it's at. So,
well, to be fair, honestly. No, I tell you, the main reason I never went into accounting, because I know I would have been the guy at Enron who said, hey guys, I just figured out a really neat way we can make a lot of money.
Actually, you can do that. You just have to find the actual loopholes that condone it. Trust me, there's many.
Yeah, no. Oh no, there are. That's the thing. It's really, tax law is beautiful in its complexity, and that's how tax law works. That's what our government does.
Well, that's because, the people that it benefits write the laws.
Yeah.
Well, they lobby for the laws.
How it goes.
We need the money. Gimme.
Yeah. What happens is that, you will get excessively ornate and complex tax laws, and then they will do a big tax reform that will lower overall tax rates, but actually get more money in. And then the cycle repeats. But unfortunately, it's just been repeated so many times that now we're back to low tax rates and loopholes, and nobody's paying taxes except for,
the suckers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Myself included. So, that's the problem. It's like we are in a country that is the Gilded Age. It's not fun. But, yeah.
Late-stage capitalism, which this movie reeks of. Also, I kind of like the change of scenery. Very rustic.
Yeah, and we find out where they got all those selenium girders from. Now, and I was trying to, because I'll be honest with you, I did not rewatch the original first, Was the mine owner also the architect?
That was that Ivo Shandor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, he's the one who built that building. Yeah, and he started Gozer.
So he got the girders, and then he built the building.
Yeah,
and then when he went to go die, he went back to the original temple, not the temple that he had anticipated. So it's an interesting thing, but it's like, what was his plan there? And, maybe he lived long enough to realize that first plan had failed because he was in that sleep state at one point.
Well, again, if you're up to shady stuff, where were you more likely to get caught? In a city of millions of people, or you go to East Nowhere, Oklahoma, and get away with more
so he
stuff.
probably built the building, anticipating the coming of Gozer, and then he realized that Gozer comes on Gozer's time.
Well, you know what? The cops might have been
unusual.
The cops might have been after him too, because I did rewatch the first one. Yeah, they said he started doing a bunch of unnecessary surgeries and stuff. So maybe the cops were after him. So yeah.
Well, it's not. Thank goodness he didn't try it in 2021 because people are obsessed with that.
Cosmetic surgery.
Unnecessary surgeries. I mean, if you want to feel good, that's fine. No judgment. But considering we still literally don't know how anesthesia works, no, thank you. We're just taking a stab in the dark, literally, at that point.
I think it basically works the same way as whiskey, and you just pass out, and then it gets you to blackout. It's like literally, there's science behind it. It's just the problem is nobody is really willing to do the work to study a blackout status. Although I'm going to tell you, if you ever meet a blackout drunk, it is a very interesting thing when you're with someone when they're in the middle of a blackout. Because essentially they lose all short-term memory, and
it's extremely difficult to podcast with them too.
Hey,
see, you don't know which one I'm talking about, do you, kids?
It's fine. It's but it's because they'll turn their back and then they'll look back at you and say, "Who are you?" Because they've completely eliminated you from their mind if you just met them. So but someone in the middle of a blackout, it's a very
get men blackout drunk, take money they won't remember. Gotcha. Thank you.
Well, no. See, that's the thing. You can't just
I got that
get someone blackout drunk. That's not how blackout drunk works. It's actually it's a layered process to get to that point where parts of your brain shut down, but other parts remain active.
All right, fine. I'll just use the GHB. It'll be fine.
Well, that
works. I got that last night.
Yeah, but there are also other chemicals that, certain, they say herbal plants that will do that.
Wait, excuse me. We have to keep it clean and classy. So we'll do the Spanish fly because that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Now that is a thing. That is one of my biggest complaints about Spanish fly does not make you lose track of yourself or anything. It just makes you highly, highly aroused. That is the only effect that Spanish fly is supposed to do. And quite frankly, it's never about making someone do something non-consensually. It's about making them really interested in consenting. So it's a very
sweet summer child.
I do it for
That's not the implications in those old movies. That's all I'm saying.
No, I think that's always the implication in the movie. It's,
You were still breathing, so I assumed you were okay.
Exactly.
Not...
Speaking of which, being a kid in Oklahoma, that's pretty much being a kid in the 80s. Take your bike out and don't come back till the street lights come on.
Well, I think that's most of the world outside of, any urban area. Yeah, I think children still ride bicycles. Mine don't.
I don't know. I play a lot of Xbox. I'm just saying. I don't think the kids are out there anymore.
Well, they couldn't afford Xbox.
Paperboy would be a very weird fantasy for kids nowadays. If they were to play Paperboy, like, why is that person on a bike and why are they throwing papers at things?
I don't think that's relatable.
Yeah, what is this newspaper you speak of? Oh, anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, it seemed like for what it's worth, a nice enough life, for effectively, hey, as luck would have it, you're not homeless. You're being evicted, but you're not homeless children.
Oh, you're related to the
also found it interesting that Janine was still in contact with him. It's like, there's like some big plot holes in this when you think about it. Because like Janine is still in contact with him and is helping him keep the lights on, as it were, through some method.
It's called convenient. Plot point is convenient.
I know, but then everyone's like,
we're going to dazzle you with nostalgia. Don't think too hard about it, Charlie.
I understand. I found it most funny that Venkman went back into academia.
I
know, right?
Granted, he went into marketing, so
I thought he
enough.
I thought he was going to do what Dana said and become a game show host.
Yeah, well, I mean,
game shows are out now, so anyway.
That's true.
Oh, they're making
it's not the 90s. The 90s weren't 10 years ago, Phil.
Yeah, no, game shows are coming. What do you mean game shows are out now? Game shows are one of the biggest things on TV. You give away $1 million prizes on just the most simplest of game shows now.
Okay.
Because it's very low cost to produce. You get a bunch of idiots to come in. You set them
all
on
I
fire,
see is Dancing with the Stars and Survivor or whatever and Big Brother. That's it.
Hey, Price is Right's still going.
Those are reality shows. Those are not games.
Okay, she doesn't watch daytime TV.
Price is Right.
Yeah, I don't watch daytime TV. I'm at work. Allegedly.
Yeah, see, nowadays people watch TV in the daytime.
Charlie doesn't leave his bunker.
Millions of dollars of diaper ads just waiting to be seen for both babies and adults. It's
That's true, yeah.
Because if you're home in the middle of the day,
you're one of the two.
You might need one of these two things.
You're either the mother of a young child or you're a senior citizen, yes.
Or you're a sandwich generation with a young child and a senior.
Oh, true.
Oh, the best of both worlds.
All it is diapers.
Isn't it, though? That's late stage capitalism.
But I enjoyed the cinematography of it. I love the performances. I just wish the script was a little more solid. We definitely band-aided a lot of things with nostalgia and hey, look at me type stuff, but it's Ghostbusters in 2021. I wasn't expecting anything less. I mean, they got Paul Rudd, for God's sakes. They were definitely trying to fix this franchise. Who is the most unproblematic person we can have?
So far, yes. So here's a question. The Harold Ramis cameo.
Yes.
What do we think about that? Is that cool that he's a hologram ghost?
I mean...
Is that a little weird and creepy?
I didn't like it when they did it with Tupac, and I didn't like they did it with here.
I didn't
like when they did it with Carrie Fisher either.
I guess it's a way to give the character a send-off. I mean, at least
closure.
Yeah. I mean,
his kids thought it was okay, I guess, so...
Yeah,
you know.
As long as his kids are okay with it, that's the most important.
And at least they didn't try to do like a live Harold Ramis at the beginning of the movie, because he was in shadow in the beginning of the movie, so... Yeah, at least it was just like the ghost. At the end,
it was, done with doubles. And, it was, I thought it was okay, but it just, I kind of liked it better when he was the invisible ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would have liked a lot more with some of what it, like maybe how he was able to be a ghost. Like what is the process of ghostification? Because as is pointed out, when you see a creature like Slimer or Chomper, were those people at one point? And then, or even the original librarian ghost, what exactly, those were not what Harold Ramis is. And Harold Ramis almost seems like he knew his time was limited, and I would have loved to see a thing where he actually created something so that the ghost trap was for him.
I think they couldn't explain it because, again, we're all playing to the Chinese audience, and that implies spiritualism and all that stuff, and you know what I mean? I think at this point,
ghosts and a gozer. I don't know how you're going to avoid this.
But like you're saying, it clearly seems very a different process. You know what I mean? Like they could just be monsters or whatever they put in the script for China.
Yeah, but I'm actually even saying that scientific explanation might even be better for the Chinese market, where you actually say, "Oh no, you see, he is not a ghost. He is the energy of the..."
Then it's false advertising.
Yeah, I did love when again the mechanical son was the one who realized, hey, you know what? Those transformers are what powers it. Why don't I shoot it with a proton gun that is filled with energy to get everything working again?
Nuclear.
Rather than trying to hold a ghost in the proton streams. And again, I don't know if that would work because those are protons, and obviously electricity uses electrons, which are negatively charged. You would need a what is a negatively charged proton? Would that be a neutron? No, neutrons are non-charged. I don't know. There is an antiparticle for proton. Maybe it's a negatron. I don't know. Because positrons are actually positive electrons. Neutrons are always neutral. So what is an antiparticle for a proton? Right in, kids. You know this.
You'll get a
your
no prize with a
antimatter.
mustache.
Yeah, we wanted to create a no prize with like your.
Is it really literally just an anti-proton? Really, I think it might be.
It probably is called an anti-proton because they said we came up with positron. We came up with electron. It's like eventually, like science nerds get tired of coming up with new names. Like after they ran out of
in
gods,
front of it and call it a day.
Well, I mean that's why it's like we're kind of running out of Greek and Roman gods, and I don't know any Sumerian gods to name this star after. Just call it THX 132.
Nice.
If it's not,
We'll start naming bugs after celebrities. I don't know. That's the Lady Gaga scorpion.
if it's not,
Looks like Lady Gaga, sort of.
The Lady Gaga bug.
They have those. There are so many bugs named after rock and roll stars because nerds.
Well, also flowers. They just name them after themselves at this point. People that do the hybrid roses and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, they've always done that.
if it's not anti-proton, it's Uncle Neutron.
Nice.
There we go.
But no, all in all, I thought it was a really good return to form for the franchise. Yeah. I didn't see like people younger than me at the movie theater. So I don't know if they're gonna actually necessarily like revive the franchise like they were thinking, or if this is just gonna be like nostalgia driven, and then they have to readjust their their expectations.
I saw a few kids there. Like I said, Luca was there. He's 18, thoroughly enjoyed it. I know he'd be down for another one. So I think they accomplished their mission of, kind of like...
Yeah, you gotta get them young. That's the whole thing.
And here's the real truth of it is you're not going to make your nostalgia off of this movie. You're going to make your nostalgia off of the cartoon series that you know as the real Ghostbusters Return.
Merch, yeah.
Yeah,
Toys.
where you're going to have the cartoons and toys and things. I mean, maybe they'll wait till after the second movie to go that route, but like I said, I think introducing the extreme... I mean, I would love to see who would be younger. Maybe
who has the rights to Ghostbusters cartoons? Is it CBS? I feel like it's CBS, and if so, they need to get that on Paramount Plus ASAP.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it is Viacom. If I remember right, the cartoon specifically might be Viacom at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think if that was one of the Dick cartoons. DIC, Phil.
I know.
They were the guys who did the Littles. Remember the Littles? That is... Okay, I'm the only one that remembers the Littles. Not the borrowers, the Littles, okay? Don't you be bringing any borrowers in here.
I'm talking about blackout drunk. See, callback,
no,
Charlie Usher.
Oh, goodness. Don't tell me it's a Saban. No, it couldn't be. No.
Oh, that might be. Well, which one? Which one?
It's Dick. It's Dick and Columbia Pictures. So that's Sony.
Thank you, Love Hellfire.
Okay, so there we go. So, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Sony.
Oh, you can buy the...
Sony has their fingers in everything.
You can buy the real Ghostbusters series on Amazon. It looks like Walmart had it too.
Oh yeah, Walmart has everything.
Like the DVD.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can buy these things.
Oh yeah.
It's just a matter of when it comes to rebooting the property and doing continuations and stuff, you get really worried about the hands that it actually ends up in now because there's so few, media companies nowadays.
Exactly, and then you also have Actually, I'd say the opposite is the exact problem. Not even that there's so few media companies, is that there are actually just tons of little media companies that all want their nickel. Because it's like, oh no, I have, see that, you hear that one line of music? I have that. You can't use that music without paying me this much money.
It was like at one point Coca-Cola had rights to the cartoon or something weird like that.
Yeah, and it gets passed around and people own parts of it too. That's the other thing.
It's that's the thing.
51% ownership to actually do anything with
It's
things.
Batman 66 all over again.
Really,
That's the first thing I would fix when I went back in time. I mean, the second thing. Obviously, I'm going to go get all first editions of all the comics that I need. And then I'm going to go smack the hell out of somebody about Batman 66.
Or you just do what that guy at DC did and just say, the movie rights are for sale and nobody wants them? I will buy the movie rights to Batman.
That will never happen in our lifetime ever again.
Oh, yeah.
No, that happened. That happened in our
but it'll
lifetime.
never happen again. That put all those companies on alert. They're like, no,
What happened in your lifetime didn't happen in mine.
Okay, yeah, no, it was because the guy who produced Batman '89, he was like, "What? Nobody?" Because he was always mad about Batman '66, not a fan. And when the rights became available, he was working at DC at the time. So, well, how much are those rights? And probably had like a rich uncle or something, and he bought the rights. And that guy, and I can't remember his name now, but his name is on every Batman property that you ever see.
Was it that Michael Uslan or something? Or
that might be him, yeah. And he owns Batman. He owns all the production rights of Batman. The only thing he doesn't own is the comic books, but that's okay, because the comic books are doing fine. He just wanted to make sure that the movies were made right.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Benjamin Melniker.
That could be it too. I don't remember. I just read the article. I don't remember like the details. I just know that there's just some dude who's like
I remember the general idea.
Well, it's like the people that had the rights to Angel for some random reason, that they were executive producers and they didn't do anything. Or like Joss Whedon. It's like any Joss Whedon thing, they have their name on it. It's probably something weird like that.
Yeah. Well, no, because he actually had to buy the rights. Because that was the thing, is DC didn't own the rights. And this was like back when DC was owned by Kinney Parking before Warner's bought them, before Kinney Parking bought Warner Brothers. Because that's always that very complex quality of the ownership, and that's where things get weird, is that Kinney Parking, which if you're in New Jersey or New York, you know who Kinney Parking is, because they own the
Hive of Scum and Villainy.
Exactly. And
Super connected tonight, baby.
One of the younger people said, I want to get into something more than parking. I want to buy media. And he buys DC Comics, and then he buys Warner Brothers, and then he buys Time. Or I think he maybe buys DC, Time, then Warner's. And then it all gets spun off later. It's
and AOL.
Well, AOL was the big scam. That was when it turns out that if you run parking companies, you're not that good at business.
Thought it was hotels.
Yeah, well, it is
God.
what it is.
The Wild West. I swear.
Yeah, but
yeah, I think it's a good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I think it's a good holiday film, a very good family film to go watch.
Oh yeah, the whole family enjoy it. Yeah,
yeah. That's very rare and far and few between if it's not a Marvel movie. So I think I can appreciate it for that as well.
Yeah, it was a good film. It was enjoyable. I loved the machines that Eon had set up so that when the PK got too high, the proton packs would quiet it all down.
A domino death trap. You gotta love it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
I mean, didn't they say that first movie?
Say,
those proton packs last like 50,000 years or something? The batteries are,
Well, that's it. Well, but 50,000 years, that's a long time.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
It's nothing to Gozer. Gozer's fine. Gozer will go destroy a bunch of insect beings in the future. But, that's the thing. It's like, humanity would have gone on just fine if Paul Rudd didn't have to be a crazy scientist. Didn't have to be what's his name? Who's that?
He couldn't be a science bro in the MCU, so he went to be a science bro in a different universe.
And he was trying to impress
and this is why he's not allowed to be a science bro in the MCU.
Well, to be fair, neither should Hank Pym. To be fair.
And he wanted to play Keymaster with the Gatekeeper, come on.
Can't blame him. Hey, eyebrows.
Oh, but my favorite callback from the original movie is just, are you a god? And they all just like look at Ray.
And you see that doesn't work anyway.
No.
It's like, because Gozer knows the gods. It's like, I was having brunch with Thor last week. What are you talking about? You're not a god. I'm just trying to point out that you are not a god, And it's even dumber to say I am a god when you are clearly not a god. And they try to cross the streams, and it's not going to work. And, Because, at the end of the day, because again, they weren't at the temple entrance when they're facing him. Crossing the streams isn't going to have the blowback of the doors that swing in two directions. Because that's the whole thing. It was that exact location that you could do that to send Gozer back with. Here, Gozer's already out of the cage. Gozer is already loose. Gozer is already ready to destroy the universe.
It is a Friday night.
We should have just let him. Start fresh.
Honestly, I don't know if anyone would have noticed. I actually think that Gozer would have been super disappointed if everyone was like, oh, okay.
I could be...
You're going to destroy the world? Have fun, Gozer.
I could be a reality star now. Okay.
Well, oh my goodness, is the temperature of the planet warming? Oh my goodness. Have the seas turned to acid? Oh, what shall we do, Gozer? Whatever shall we do? If the earth quakes for no reason? I think we did that too. I think that was actually a point they made, that the fracking causes these random earthquakes. And you know what, Gozer, you're a little played. I love that you came. You're making the effort. You got all the spiky outfit.
Hey-o.
It's very nice.
A Gimp mask ready to murder people? What'd you say?
Yeah, I'm going to wear a Gimp mask and murder people. It's just like, what is the threat of Gozer at this point? It's like,
that's
Gozer,
an interesting artistic choice.
Yeah. Anyway,
Comic
I'm just
books?
saying.
Yes, let's talk some...
Sure.
Sorry, it's a big week, and it's actually the best comic is actually a really big surprise for me, at least in my opinion.
Phil's
When I
Comics
read
Corner.
It was a huge week, and I got to read almost none of my comics. So, by the way, Tina, one of my kids got this at a Happy Meal.
What
I
is
don't know
it?
which one. It's Athena Eternals.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, Eternals Happy Meals. Jack Kirby is spinning in his grave. Oh my god.
Oh, he would have loved that. What are you talking about? I don't know. And it's even one that it's the same gender as the character he made. They even made her blonde. He would be that would be like the one who's like, at least I got Tina right. So hey, my Indie of the Week, Department of Truth. Speaking of Gozer the Gozerian and things coming through, and this is basically a great flashback episode. So if you will recall last week, the question at hand was, is the Department of Truth run by the real Lee Harvey Oswald or a being from another dimension that was manifested as Lee Harvey Oswald, and that is the creature running the Department of Truth? Is Lee Harvey Oswald really Lee Harvey Oswald, or was the real Lee Harvey Oswald killed? So here we have Lee Harvey Oswald. He's being, and this is still, people still know who Lee Harvey Oswald is, so he's told he has to change his appearance, so he shaves his head, but he also shaves his eyebrows, so that's a little gag they have here.
Eyebrows.
They go, because we have to find about the Babylon, what was it? The Babylon working. The Babylon working. This goes into all this crazy stuff about a rocket scientist named Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard and Aleister Crowley and this attempt to manifest God because you never try to manifest God. They make this point here because that's too big and you can't handle it. But you could try to manifest an angel, or you could try and bring a lesser being in. But, Parsons and Hubbard, they're not going to mess around. They try to manifest God, and they bring the Babylon working, the woman in red, the Crimson Woman, they bring her into existence. And everyone goes mad and craziness and yada, yada, yada. And at the end, this is the big deal. This is the big reveal. Is we see this little kid smoking, and of course this guy, he's an engineer, and he's like all waiting for the end of the world. He's built his little bomb shelter, and he's got this kid sitting there smoking. We see this little teen kid smoking. That's how you know he's a tough, and he tells him, can you take me with you, crazy men in black? They're like, no, we don't take kids. It says if it ever gets too bad, just walk down the town, just walk 5 miles out of town, and talk to, just go to the town. And said, they're just as crazy there. And he says, well, look, kid, your dad's onto something. see what you can get, and maybe later I'll look you up again. And he says, "What's your name, kid?" And he says, "It's Hawk, Connor Hawk." And that is the kid who is the one that is the guy who...
Oh, yeah, he's a bad news bear. That name is a bad news bear written all over it.
Yeah, it's great because it's just a lot of lore and everything's... I really love Department of Truth. I cannot recommend it highly enough. After dealing with Ghost of the Gozerian, I got to tell you, nothing makes a great palate cleanser like Department of Truth, where, quite frankly, manifesting Ghost of the Gozerian seems like a real possibility. What was your favorite book this week, Lilith? Because you said it was a surprise.
Well, it wasn't a surprise for me, actually, because, this week was big, but it was mostly Batman on the DC side, and so I don't want this to get buried. So if you're not reading Human Target, you need to start with Human Target number 2. Ooh. It's written by Tom King. He is really making up for all the L's that he caused. I really like him on this book. I really like the art and his chemistry with Greg Smallwood. It's noir in theme and action, but the execution, the art is so beautiful and brightly colored. I really enjoyed that juxtaposition. It's all about Christopher Chance trying to solve his own murder, and it's probably somebody supposedly from Justice League International, and the person that we're dealing with for this issue is Ice. So yeah, it's very different. It's very fun. It is a $5 book, as a warning, but worth every penny. It's a detective story, so if you miss your detective stories in Batman, I think you might like this.
Ooh. I keep meaning to get the first one. I may have to swing by and get the first 2.
Yeah, I think this book is really great. Definitely, you should put it on your watch list at least. Yeah. I don't really hear a lot of people chattering about it, so I just wanted to bring that up. I think it's... I love Human Target. He's very obscure, and then mixing him in with Justice League International, and we know there's a Justice League International other book too, so... It should be fun.
Oh my! All right, I guess I'll pull out an indie book.
An indie.
Little Street Spawn.
Oh, of course. I'm like, wait a minute.
And hey, we're actually doing something with Jim Downing.
Well, no, they promised, and they're just making good on that promise. That's all.
Yeah.
And I am surprised to see them actually holding their end of the bargain up on that one. But
McFarlane always gets the stuff, even if it takes him years. He eventually gets to everything.
Yeah, eventually. Well, we do have to fill out the Spawn family for that movie or cartoon or whatever next big merchandising opportunity he can present for Spawn. We have to get there. So.
Wait a minute. A blonde guy who replaced the original one for a while. Wait a minute. What?
Batman!
No! I was going to say Ben Reilly. Oh!
Sorry, Phil. We're on the opposite ends here.
Hey, man, all the big guys.
It works for both, though.
I know.
I love Ben Reilly. Sorcerer Supreme. He was robbed.
To be fair, isn't Ben Reilly a bleach blonde though?
I don't know.
He's a bottle blonde.
Whatever he dyes it. Yeah, that's whatever he dyes it.
Yeah, that's some sense.
Don't be going down bad on the bottle blondes. You know.
Hey-o.
They just want to have fun.
I understand.
At least when Lilith tells them to.
You know, I'm a sucker for a redhead. Blondes do nothing for me.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're still here for Spawn, Lilith?
Yeah. Like I said, it's interesting to see the evolution of Spawn.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna ride it out. I'm just waiting on that next movie or cartoon or whatever.
It's still coming, he promises. All right, Charlie, you want to throw out another book?
Oh, for me? Okay, well, let's, I'm trying to think what I want. Yeah, I have so few books. I have a ton of books, but I only read a few. Let's talk the Marvels. The Marvels number 6. This is a really interesting one because, again, kind of like Department of Truth, it's sort of the jump back and, okay, this character we've kind of set up vaguely as a villain. Here's some, real deep backstory. We find out that Madame Lotus, and honestly, this is one of these stories that almost seems like it's actually we've been planning this for 20 years now, and now we're finally putting all the pieces, because I am certain Madame Lotus, she actually is a classic Young Allies villain, and they did a Young Allies book about 5 years ago with her as the villain in it. And it's this whole thing about how she was born in like 1897 and she's, got these powers, and they found that Black Lotuses increased her powers. And we get to the Singong area that is our new, that's where all the Iron Man stuff happened place. And we see her sort of forming her alliances, and how, of course, first how she fights the invaders, but then she builds up the alliances with all the powerful people in this world at that time, including that first swordsman who just got killed in the Hawkeye series. And it's just very interesting how they do all this deep backstory. They're trying to figure out who actually lives in Singong, because they realize that they've made this little province where the Black Lotuses are, because she can feel the power of the Black Lotus. Something in it is speaking to her, but at the same time, she doesn't know how to get to it, and she realizes that no one in Singong has lived there for less than 100 years. That everyone in there is an immigrant. They'll say, yeah, there were people here when we got here, but no, I don't know what happened to them, because they get all the oldest families in the villages around, and everywhere they went to find older people, they said, no, there was someone here, but then we left. And as she's walking down these roads, like, who carved these roads? No one knows. It's like everything was here, and they find the hidden temple at the end after the U.S. is invading, as you do, because that's what our government does. And her and her handmaiden start going back to the temple, and they find stairs that weren't there before, and then there are the big doors at the end. So it's like throughout the whole thing, it is, and there we go. One of my favorite characters that they haven't done enough with, 1940s Vision. He helps cosmic cubes evolve, and they just sort of left that hanging there. And we don't know what the cosmic cubes are up to, because the cosmic cubes are beyonders! And, yeah, so that's that. But the Marvels, number 6. I mean, honestly, if you like this new reworked Marvel Universe, and how they're trying to piece all the pieces together post hoc into a sliding time universe, it's a lot of fun. It's only got another 50 years until they have to completely rework it once again. But they'll do it. Don't worry. They'll do it.
All right, Lilith.
Okay. There's actually a tie for best Marvel book.
Ooh.
And don't kill me, but I really liked Venom number 2, and it is a direct in competition of Death of Doctor Strange Spider-Man number 1.
Oh.
There, I said it. Now, we already talked about Death of Doctor Strange Spider-Man number 1 over on Ultimate Spider-Cast, starring Noel Tate, so be sure to go head over there and listen to that. But yeah, no, I want to talk about Venom number 2.
All right, let it loop.
I didn't think I was gonna like this series specifically, but it is leaps and bounds better than the first issue.
Well, yeah, because they were kind of like splitting their time between Eddie Brock and like the Sun, and this was like more like focused on the Sun.
I am absolutely in love with Brian Hitch's art. Like,
oh, yeah.
I love Brian Hitch for Marvel. Like, I used to be strictly, if it was Brian Hitch and it wasn't DC, I wasn't into it, but this Venom thing is really working out for him, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Gives him a chance to do something very different.
Oh, yeah, the Venom stuff. Yeah, he's really...
And we can look forward to a lot more Brian Hitch in Marvel this next coming year, too, from all the solicits that I've seen so far. So I'm very excited about it. But yeah, I like the story. It's interesting. And I like the take on Venom. It's not as, goofy, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, this teenage...
But not super serious either. It's like a very good fine line that they're walking with it.
Yeah, his teenage son has the symbiote, and now he's being hunted by, all these mercenaries or somebody's army. But yeah, then he meets up with one of Eddie's old contacts at the end.
Yeah. But who names their kid Dylan?
Well, it's Brock. Come on.
You just want your... No offense to all the Dylans out there in the world, but as a 90210 fan, you're just begging for your kid to be a douchebag.
Oh.
Isn't there a
R.I.P.
poet named Dylan Thomas? Dylan Thomas? That's a poet, right? Like one of those, like, wrote things to Elizabeth I kind of stuff. I'm just saying, Bob Dylan didn't just pick the name Dylan out of nothing. There's a Dylan out there.
So anyway,
if he's a poet, I don't know it. If he's a poet, I don't know it. Oh, I don't mean to be Charlie Usher here, but did you see the ad in this issue? Mary Jane and Black Cat #1 coming in January.
I feel like I spoke that into existence. I'm just saying.
I know.
I really feel like that.
You're
welcome.
I remember seeing that. I'm like, I know we mentioned that somewhere on one of our episodes.
More than once.
Yes.
So I spoke that into the universe. You're welcome. Who's writing that exactly? And we'll tell you they definitely heard us.
Jed McKay.
Exactly. I think he secretly listens. We're going to have to get an interview one day.
I was going to say, Jed, you talked to Ray. Come on, you got to talk to us. Come on.
I won't ask weird questions about Moon Knight, I promise.
Oh. Shots fired.
What the F?
But yeah, no, it's a good time to be a fan of the Spider-Verse. I think they're intentionally trying to up their game for every Spider-related character in honor of the anniversary and stuff. And I can really appreciate it because Venom's been kind of wonky for a while. And, I think with King in Black and they saw what they could do with that and how well it was received that they're going to continue on that trajectory. So I'm kind of here for it.
All right, let's be topical here. I'll be topical. Anyone read Hawkeye Kate Bishop #1?
Oh, I was just about to read it, and I just ran out of time.
I mean...
Tell me about it, though.
It's decent.
Yeah, Phil, tell me about it.
Okay, kids, settle back. No, it...
Tell me a bedtime story, Philly.
Hey, Noel. Yeah, that's going to be a drop. All right. No, I mean, it's good. It's a lot of setup because it starts out with her in, California, and it's her, basically... well, first she stops like a bank robbery, and then she basically turns the... detective agency over to her friends, and then she goes back to New York because, well, one, there's a TV show, but two, her sister calls her and needs help, who I guess they've been estranged for many years, so and she calls her.
She has a sister?
Yeah.
Supposedly, allegedly.
Yeah, but she calls her to this fancy resort, and then it's like, oh, I really need your help. Why do you think I called you? And then at the end, some girl goes missing, so right now it looks like a missing persons thing, so. Like I said, first issue, a lot of setup, getting her out of California and stuff, but it was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I'm just is
what
it like
is this, a Jessica Jones story?
Is it like a half sister? Is it like maybe her dad had a sister before the mom, or did the mom have?
Maybe her memories are being tampered with.
I don't know. I mean, they didn't explain half or not. So I mean, maybe as this series goes along, they'll get more into it.
Because I'm assuming, is it an older sister or a younger sister? Because I mean, if it's a younger sister, she's got to be like what, 12?
Yeah, no, she's older. Yeah, she's older.
She's older, so that's an established
kid.
previous. Yeah, and to be fair, that happens.
It does.
And especially if it's a non-mom related kid, that is problematic, as they say.
Very, very fancy, very rich. Yeah, so. Mm-hmm. Kate,
it's giving me Ryan Wilder, but that's fine.
Oh no, no, she knows who her mama is. Or
okay.
All right.
Honestly, do any of us know who our mama is?
Whoa!
We just get told that's our mama, just like that. I mean, that's the thing.
I had a blood test done.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, everyone says, well, you always know who the mother is. Like, well, the adults know who the mother is. That doesn't mean the kids do. Just ask Jack Nicholson.
Nice. I understood that reference.
Yes, I'm just saying.
All right.
My aunt's baby is doing very nicely. Thank you for asking. I do it for free.
Anyone want to throw out anything else? Or should we get out of here? Because
I got a whole other show to do.
I was going
to say, we can talk all our Bat books on our Batman show. That's what it's there for.
I know what Charlie has.
I got literally 3 books left that I read.
All right, let me guess. 2. Fantastic Four and the Big Ass Avengers.
Was that number 50?
50/750, yes.
Yeah, no, I did not even start that. I read Spider-Man.
Ooh.
I read Winter Guard. And I read Fantastic Four. And I wanted to, but I didn't get the chance to, Justice League Dark. So I'm going to try and read this and talk about
They're
it next
still making
next week.
that? Bless their
No, it's
hearts.
the annual. So they
Okay.
annual left. There was, I know you're asking, did I do an annual or did I didn't do an annual? Let me guess. Are you feeling lucky, punk? And apparently you were not lucky. They did an annual.
Loves cocaine.
The Evil Eyes of Mr. E. Spooky.
Yep.
I'm excited about it, though, because it does look cool, and I do see Detective Chimp on it, so...
Yeah, because I was going to say, they've been doing backups in the regular Justice League book of Justice League Dark.
Okay.
Hey, Lilith, Ray messaged me today. Now he has 2 DC books on his pull list.
Ooh.
Excellent. Connor Eye's plan is working according to everything we planned for it to do.
I mean, he must...
Did you say you weren't into buying DC books anymore?
Who, Lilith?
Or, Lilith,
I don't buy them anyway, so
Okay.
they're all
I
alone.
knew there was a boycott on DC for a little while there. I
don't actually. The only books I really buy is like Wonder Woman, like things I actually care about. But everything else, they're on loan.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Pirates are.
No, Ray's reading
She's
action.
a pretty lady. She's allowed to sit in the comic book store and just read the books for free.
Oh, I would never do that in the comic book shop. No.
It's a girl.
But no, Ray's reading Action Comics and Justice League Incarnate.
Yeah, yeah. Which we should definitely talk about in January.
What?
Remind me.
No, I don't think that. No, that's not. I don't think that's the Jan DeMatteis one. That's the.
No, I know it's
Okay.
not. But it's.
Okay.
Have you read it yet? Because I read it.
I haven't yet.
I just want to mention it.
I haven't yet. So, okay, I'll pick it up so we can talk about it in January on Unlimited Justice.
Also, remind me to do the Human Target thing. Like I said, it's a big crossover with Justice League International as well. So
Oh, is it?
it counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, pick that up too.
So on that note.
All right. So yes, kids, stay tuned for Super Connectivity. Later in the
Last regular Capes of the year.
That's right, because 3 episodes left for the year. The first and the third one, I'll be talking to author Carrie Harris about her Ghost Rider and X-Men novels. And, of course, in between those, you'll be getting our Die Hard Christmas episodes. So,
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
hey,
That's your big two-parter.
That's true. And then in the middle there, yeah, you get the Die Hard with special guests DJ Nick and some other guy.
Why did your eye drift over to my box?
The return of Master Doom. Oh, Professor Doom. I forgot.
So says Master Doom.
I'm glad we can keep him busy in his declining years.
Ooh!
Keep him out of Martha's here, that's for sure.
I get so much right.
Anyway, so yes, send us your thoughts. Email us. Hey, all the comics. And all the current for the rest of the month. Any current news or comics, Charlie Esser and I will discuss it on Super Connectivity because I believe Devil's Reign #1 comes out next week.
Ooh.
Somebody had to be born. Anyway, everyone, email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Capes and Lunatics on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Find links to all the various social medias for all the shows we do, all the Facebook fan groups. Find links to this YouTube channel. Tell me who's prettier, Lilith or Charlie.
That's no.
I'll give it to Charlie.
Oh,
Exactly.
I was gonna say they both said Charlie. Anyway, so yes, but most
Wolf doesn't even have a beard, so you.
Where's my old man Mark Hamill beard?
Oh my god. Anyway, so yes, but if you can subscribe to anything, please subscribe to the Patreon. Hey, give us a Christmas present. Subscribe to the Patreon. Paying for this out of our own pockets. Thank you to our patrons, Ray, Justin, and Russell. And also, it's almost Christmas. Get yourself some, get your loved ones.
Get your wife something!
Oh, some Capes and Lunatics or Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merchandise. That's right, Little Hellfire. Get it, all of it, all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics.
Give your wife something.
Little Hellfire.
If you nerds hear ocean waves in my feedback for Devil's Rain, mind your business. But you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69, and of course on TikTok, making the spicy comments, Star Trek and Stargate related content at Lilith Hellfire69. Duh. Superior puss. Yeah, I got that last night.
Charlie Esser.
Well, now, if you'd like to write to me the old-fashioned email way, where mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter, as I live tweet whatever the heck I feel like, whenever the heck I feel like, at Charlie Yesser, that's CHARLIE. SSER. Look to the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
Right. You don't appreciate it at first, but then you're like, oh, I get it. Thank you for that.
Best summary of the show.
He gets it.
Ew. You haven't lived until Moz has given you a ping. Anyway, for another week, and again, hey, with all three of us together for the year, we have been your capes.
I'm Passant.
Lunatics! See you next year, suckers!
I'm just saying.
I'll see you all next week. So.
Yeah. Just say Die Hard pre-recorded, but that'll be out there. Whatever.
Yeah, Boston Pizza owners. I get it.
Boston Pizza.
Out of the pouch. Boy.
I do not know how Boston is known for pizzas.
Boston doesn't have a Boston pizzas. That's the crazy thing.
Do they have a Boston market? That's all I need to know.
Hey-oh.
Exciting times to be a pimp.
Hi, I'm one of the High Priests of Khonshu Ray, and I have the sacred privilege of providing you, the loony listener, with a podcast honouring Marvel's very own Moon Knight. So join me and a host of others at Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or support the show by becoming a Patreon member. Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. It's time to get your Khonshu on.